All right, good morning, everyone. So, joining me, excuse me, for this beautiful, beautiful session, trust me, don't log out, too. You have so much fun, I promise. Is none other than Mrs. Anita Chukwemeka. Give it up for her. Miss Anita. All right. She's even bringing, what's it called? Jota. You people have finished this morning. That's the end. All right, the second person will be Mrs. Damola Ogunkoya. Give it up for her. Hallelujah. All right, thank you so much, Hindu. Okay, so this is going to be simple. We are going to do it raffle draw style. Okay, so they'll pick a paper and then they would, in a few minutes, just give their thoughts on whatever they pick. All right. Mrs. Damola, go first. Miss Anita, you're next. Okay, so whatever you pick, just, you know, from your own perspective, just give your perspective on it. You can read it out to us and then just give us your
Good morning,
perspective on it.
church. Okay, so my question is mom guilt. And your father says, as much as you want to buy the whole world for your child or children, take care of yourself. I do like to say that almost every mom has that mom guilt because, the moment you give birth, you are let me say you're like a new person. You are involved because there's a new, there's a new being in your hand that literally knows nothing. And it is now your responsibility to, to pour into that child, to take care of that child, to nurture that child, to put that child in the right path. But most times, or let me talk from an experience, I would like to say maybe like 80% of the time you literally forget about yourself. The moment you have your child, you pour everything you have into the child, and then you are, let me use the word stuck. Like you don't take care of yourself. You hardly like you hardly improve yourself. Everything you want to do is for your child. How my child dresses, how my child speak, how they, how they do, like how they interact with people, and then you forget that you were also somebody before your children came to life. You were somebody before your husband met you. You were somebody after you've gotten married. You are somebody before your children came. So it happens a lot. In fact, so I would like to say it happens to literally all mothers. But that's why you need to have like that community or somebody that can just make you have like this conscious this and that, okay, yes, you have to take care of your children, but in another sense you also have to take care of yourself, because stylishly your children are your reflection and they are also the same thing to them. So when people see you taking care of your children looking great and then you are looking tattered, it's more like, are you really sure you know what you're doing, like as a mother? So you definitely have it. It comes once in a while, like when you give birth. It happens, but it's good to have people in your space that can always jack you back into that conscious of yourself, that you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself generally. Hygiene, if you feel somehow you can go to the gym, or maybe like do diet, but something shall just, take care of yourself. That's all.
All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Anita. Over to you.
Okay, good morning, church. Um, do, your love language can change. Communicate with your husband. Is that what it is? Okay. life that you have brought into existence. So the love language for me changed because the direction, the diversion of all the gifts of what is it, the 5 languages of love diverted to my children. So he's showering me with the languages, but I am moving it to the children, and then it's more predominant from him now. From him, it's diverted to the children also. So it changed over time. Now from the gifts to what's that? To act of service. Sorry. So, but the words of affirmation is still constant. That one has always been there and is still there. So.
Okay, wow, that's so beautiful. So to the men out there, don't be confused. She doesn't have multiple personality disorder. You get? Her love language has just changed. When she was a babe, she wanted gifts. Now she wants you to help her with the kids. That's like acts of service. Like, it's okay, the gifts are good. I really appreciate it once in a while, but can we just like put your hands to work? Like, acts of service, that's what I need right now. And then, affirm me. You are doing great. You are the best mother in the world. You still look beautiful after childbirth. Things like that will help us women to do better. And that's for, even if you're single here, no knowledge is wasted. Everyone would, except your Apostle Paul, though, which is not a bad thing to do. I mean, you'll get married at some point, and I find that knowledge like this will help you on your way as you go. All right, so one more, and then we're good to go.
Okay, so my question is myth of pregnancy, body changes, depression, and anxiety. Yes, so I think I would relate this topic to myself. So, first child, the body changes were not that much, but second child, yes. But for my second child, did I have? No, I didn't have depression, but I had anxiety. Like I was really, really like, literally everything was scaring me. But for the first child, I had depression. Yeah, like I was like, who is this human being that is in my space? Sometimes she will cry, but you can't tell like this. Like, when you are done, you keep quiet. Continue crying. And my mom would also be like, carry your child. She's crying. I'm like, she can sort herself out. Like, I was doing things that I was not really conscious of, or I didn't. There's sometimes I was be like, please don't bring her close to me. Like, she should stay. But I didn't. Like, it was later on that I was beginning to that. Oh, okay. It's like these are part of what, like little, little, and they just creep in little, little like that. Before you know it, then you now start. It becomes suicidal, and you can't really come out of it. Depression is really, really bad, especially when like when you just give birth, your body changes. Everything about you is let me use the word is new, or as a first time mom, you don't like you still don't know anything, and then they don't even teach us most of all these things what you will expect when you give birth to your child. They only teach you like, oh, some during antenatal, what you would really, really face when you go home with your child. They don't give us enough information about it. So now imagine you don't have somebody in your space. It's fat from 0 to 100 of being bad. So I had it, but thanks to my husband and some sisters were like, this part that you are going is not the no, like this is what depression looks like. And because I didn't have anybody to tell me that they've gone through it, I didn't know until I had people that came to my space, and they were quick to know that this is what I was going through. And then through some talkings and then some reading books, it really helped. For anxiety, I had for my second child, because I just felt like I didn't want to make some mistakes I made during my first baby. I didn't want to make it for my second one, but that one too, I've been able till now. I still have like little anxiety. It pops in like once in a while, but at least I've been able to to really, really um receive help and be able to control it.
Okay, wow. So basically, what she's saying is, especially as children of God, we get that, postpartum depression and anxiety is a thing, but we're not unaware to just name it as a thing. It's a spirit. And so when you are aware of that, you are better able to combat it through the help of, community, speaking with somebody. And then, I find that talking to people who have gone ahead of you is really, really important. I mean, I didn't know about, there's this app, Baby Center, until I got pregnant, and then my sister was like, you have to download this, and then they give you like step by step, like day to day. Your baby is 1 week and 1 month today. Things to look out for, things to do, and all of that. And so, I mean, just asking questions. Nobody gets lost while asking questions. I think that's a Yoruba adage. So, I mean, it works in every aspect of life. So, Miss Lanita.
Okay, importance of motherhood, what to expect, and how it can affect you, and the main reasons why you need a community. So this is about 4 questions in one. Okay, let me start from where Damola stopped. It's important as mothers. Or okay, let me start with what motherhood is. It's an interesting journey. It's beyond. It's a beautiful thing, and it's beyond the mere fertility, where the whole getting pregnant, giving birth, and then taking your children or child through that part of growth. So it's one of the things I began to tell myself is that motherhood is an extension of the expression of who we are in God. So it's a privilege to be a mother. You don't downplay that. It's a privilege being a mother. When you're given the privilege to give birth, we are like co-creators. Like co-creators with God, and it's an interesting journey. And the importance is that you're co-creating with God, and we are seen as stewards. Is beyond giving birth to your biological children. If you have the people around you who you take care of, who you're responsible for, who you can be accountable for, it's like stewarding, the same way we steward money, steward time, and steward everything around us. It's the same way we are seen as stewards. So you're not seeing yourself as a mother because you've given birth or something. If you have the privilege, it's like we're talking about the discipleship process in church right now. A discipler is like a mother to a disciple. That's what we see it as. So it's important to know that you are a co-creator as a mother. You are a co-creator with God, and you are a steward, and you're expected to steward your children, either biological, spiritual, or whichever way. Steward them very well because you're answerable to God. So, as co-creators, you do not want to fail the Almighty, which is a high, the Almighty Creator. So, the importance of motherhood is, it's an interesting journey, and what to expect. You're to expect a lot, In fact, along the journey, there are certain things that might happen. It's like she talked about the loss of identity. There are a lot that happens to you as it has to do with your body, but understand that this is a part, or this is a journey that God has assigned. It's like an assignment that we've been called to do on earth. So you cannot just fail at any point in time. And do not ever feel less of yourself as a mother. You see, whatever it is you do is an assignment. The same way pastors pastor people is the same way mothers mother their children. The same way a mother mothers her children. And it's the same way, it's almost applicable to like a discipler, discipling the disciple. So that's how the responsibility of a mother is. So you're not expected to feel less of yourself because you're a mother, or losing your identity, or losing whatever it is that you carry in your life, or who you are, as a mother. So it's an important journey, and you are supposed to take it as serious as whatever it is. It's a walk. Do you understand me? It's a part, it's that part of work in that kingdom that God have assigned us to do. So, how it affects you. For me, um, I at some point lost my identity. But thank God for community. And that's why we can't negotiate the fact that we need communities as mothers. Community, the right company. Because when you have the right company, they know how to direct your path. They know how to bring you back to order. You know, she talked about postpartum depression. I don't think I ever had that with my second child, because I had the right people in church who just kept putting me through, guiding that part. So when I had my first child, it was a different ball game. In fact, I remember a Pastor Adiola and MTI, you know, one of the days they called me and asked me, "Are you ready?" You know, in my head, I thought it was that readiness of you buying all of the things that you need as a mother who wants to, you know. And then they asked me again, "Are you ready?" I said, "Yes, very well. We have everything. We have everything together." And then they asked me the third time, "Are you really ready?" It was then it dawned on me to know that I was about embarking on a journey that, you know, Anita losing herself. She's no longer a bae. Anita loves to trek. Right now, you know, when you now have a child, you cannot trek certain distances, as in it's not possible. So it was then it dawned on me that, Kai, is this what I am signed, as in, like, if you know Anita, do you understand me? But right now, as a mother, there are certain things you're not expected to do. There is that change. There is that, there's just that switch. And it's that switch to the fact that you are now a responsible, you know, you're no longer, it's not about yourself. It's about the lives that you have brought to being. So, you know, you need that right company as a mother, or as mothers, be it to your biological or spiritual children. You need that company, the right company that will put you through the right paths. Praise God.
Hallelujah. Okay, so a round of applause for Miss Anita, please. Okay, you wanted to
Okay,
add
so
something.
I think the beginning of my question says myth, and I wanted to say that when you're pregnant, there's all these myths that says, "Oh, don't eat fish," or when you're when the when the baby is up, it's a girl. When the baby is down, it's a boy. I don't think yeah, because throughout my second born, everything was down. It was so down that I was saying, it's going to be a boy. Then the first man said, "Oh, it's going to be a boy." And I bought the boy clothes. Then I did the second and the third. The man said, "Congratulations, but it's a girl." I said, "Sir, eh?" The man said, "Yes, it's a girl." I left there, went to the second place, it's a girl. Third one, a girl. I said, "Auntie, you wear this boy clothes like that, oh, there's nothing you can do to it." So anytime you see her wearing blue and orange, it's not my fault. It's what this guy told me. But you know, you know, all those meat can, you know, they can, how will I say it? Like she said, Baby Center is a very, it's a very good app. Like, you know, they take you day by day. Oh, your child is 7 weeks and 7 months and 1 day today. This is what to expect. This is, because if you, half of what our parents told us, now I'm just saying, they will tell you, "Oh, when you're pregnant, don't drink cold water. The baby's organs we squeeze." I like cold water. I cannot undo not drinking cold water. So there are so many myths. Or don't eat fish. Don't do this. Don't. I think they'll tell you not to. I think like so many things. But you know, when you're in that, like when you are pregnant, it's nice for you know to read, because if you are how would I say, if you listen to like so many things, you might miss out. So read and ask the right questions when you go for your antenatal. Like when you see your doctor, ask the right questions. He said, "Don't eat head of fish." My sister, eat head of fish, you.
All right, so thank you so much to Miss Anita and Mrs. Damola. Does anyone have, you know, any questions, you know, regarding anything as it has to do with motherhood? I mean, or is there anyone here who's scared of, you know, giving birth to children? You feel like, you know, you will lose yourself, you know, if you give birth, and then when you start to give birth. Okay, Mr. Akindele has a question. Okay, so I think I'll just address that. I just picked that up as I started to, you know, speak. I feel that, you know, there's somebody here who you feel that this one that they are saying all of these things. Once we start having children, you know, we won't be true to ourselves anymore. You know, I'm here to tell you that, you know, like PG would say, it's a great privilege to co-create with God. And, you know, there are systems and structures that, you can surround yourself with that will make the journey easier. It's easy when you are armed with the right kinds of information and when you're ready for, whatever surprises you might encounter. So most importantly, do life with God. Do it with God. The Holy Spirit is the surest baby center. He's the surest baby whisperer. He's the surest baby everything. He's the best person that can take care of you, you know. And then, don't neglect to pull your husband on the journey, because I find that that's one of the mistakes that, women make as well. You are there doing everything yourself, and then the man is clueless, and then when you need him to help you, he doesn't know what to do, and you are angry, but you didn't carry him along on the journey. The things that you've had to expose yourself to read, you didn't even give him a clue or give him a summary as to, you see this thing that I read, this is what it is actually. It says this, it says that, it says this, so that he's kept apprised of the things that you guys will have to journey together. So for men out there, planning to get married, already married, the journey is not just for a woman, it's for two entities that God has called one. So I mean, it makes the journey easy. Thank you. All right.
Okay, so I was going to say, before I got married, she said something about losing yourself. I was really scared of having children. Like I said, if you know the Anita, I really wanted to maintain that figure 8 thing and all of that. I wanted to have it like that. But then, being a co-creator with God is a very huge privilege that you do not want to turn down. And that was one of the things that just opened my heart to receiving that order, for the use of the word. That I just said to myself, no, if God calls you to be a co-creator with him, then please embrace that journey. Be ready to go on that path. So am I still a bae after 2 children? Yes, I am. So it's still possible.
By all means,
You
you
understand?
are.
So don't be scared to get on that journey. Please do. So after 4 or 5, I will still be a bae.
I know, right? Miss Anita is a bae. Bae, altogether lovely. All right. We hope that you've been blessed by this. Oh, who has a question? Okay, Elisha. Oh, okay, and Pastor Dennis. Okay, Elisha.
Hey, Jesus. Sorry, I'm very shy asking a question, but I want to ask this question because I used to tell my mom that when my wife is pregnant, I'll travel for the next 6 months. I'll come back after 3 months. Because that period of when a woman is pregnant, as in, it comes with a lot, and it comes with a whole lot. So, I don't know, are there classes that new fathers should take so that they can be able to prepare their mind, especially for first child? After first child, you're already used to it. For first child, or now you can go through that process with your wife.
All right. So to answer this question, please welcome Pastor Adiola. You know why I called Pastor Adela? Because Pastor Adela is very educated when it comes to children. I'm serious. It's not because he's my brother-in-law. He's very, very educated when it comes to children. I mean, sometimes your child is stooling, and then I'm like, okay, the microbiologist in my head, I've tried to figure out, okay, what could this thing be? My next point of call is Mr. Ademi. And then we discuss the symptoms, and I'm like, oh, right, that's true. And then we figure out what to do, and it actually works every single time. So that's why I said he should be the best person to answer the question.
This is serious setup. Please, if you are going to call me, now come with your consultation fee. All right, Elisha. So yes, there is, unfortunately, because of the way we have grown up and the way our system, we've made childbearing to be like it's a woman's thing. So most men don't realize that there is a responsibility on their path to also prepare themselves. Women were raised to, as they are coming up, you will have a child, so you need to know how to take care of the child. But for men, those information is not there. And so it's usually a serious problem. And most marriages get into trouble when children begin to come. So the answer is this. I tell you, there are materials you can read. Like Papa said, I read a lot concerning aspects of my life. So that I don't like getting into a place or into a season and it looks like I have no idea. It can be a mess for you. So there are books you can read. Baby Center, like my wife said, they have been saying, right, is a good resource. I had it on my phone. It's not just my wife that had Baby Center. We're both reading Baby Center together. In fact, some days that she has not read, may have read. So I know what's up already, So that's how you prepare yourself, and then you have exactly. I still get it for Jed. Do you understand? So it doesn't stop because their phase of development too changes, and as parents, you need to know how. Right now, me and my son are having some conversation now. Dad, I just don't want to be a kid anymore. I want to grow up to choose my own clothes myself, to do. You have entered that season. So it changes, and you must know how to change, and you must know how to have those conversations. And then the last one, as a father, the fact that you have the first one doesn't mean that you have known what the second one, brother, is another season entirely. Because now they are now two. Before now, you are dealing with one. And the other person is not telling you, you're abandoning me for the other person. You deal with that one too. So it's never the same, but what I tell people is, before you get into the next stage of life, read, ask questions. Ask yourself, what will this take? What will I need to change? I used to sleep 8 hours. It might mean that my sleep will become 6 hours. You make those mental work, and then, no, it's just an example. It's just an example. Pastor Stark is saying, and I knew I had some conversation with him too, at a certain point. So the idea is this. Once you make that mental shift, what happens to people is that they don't make that mental shift before they get into that season. So it's a mess. So the fact that you even make mental shift doesn't mean you won't struggle. But what it is that you are better prepared to absorb the shock and to be more forward-looking. So please, you will learn. There is no school in particular, except we now say we want to create one. There's no school in particular, but read, ask questions, and men, please, I beg you, don't be scared or ashamed to ask questions as it has to come to fatherhood and all that. I know we always want to be like, we have an idea, we know what we want to do, but it puts us into trouble. Ask questions and all of that. And like I said, the fact that you've done one doesn't mean you already have and stuff like that.
Thank you so much, Pastor Adela. Please help me pass the microphone to Pastor Dennis. He has a question as well.
Praise
A
God.
round of applause for him, please. That was really good. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Pastor Dela, for that answer. At least it helped me with some of my questions and the panelists. So the question I want to ask, I know is going to be the question that most men have in their hearts. We know that we love our wives. When they give birth, we love them, we love the kids. And we know it's our responsibility to provide, it's our responsibility to serve. But there's this one thing, that's always one thing, that every woman expects from their husband. But they don't know it. And men too don't know it, and we keep looking for it. So I want to know if there's answer. Let me give you context. Sometimes you will wake up, you've done this, you've taken care of the children, you've done, and the lady is still feeling like she's desperate. What is going on? She knows you have done your best, but she will still tell you that, what do you want? So I want to know, if there's, you want to know that thing, because most times, as a man, it is your joy that after you've done everything, your wife is happy, she's lively, but it still look as if you've not done anything. As if you've not done anything. What is that thing?
Okay. Wow. Everyone.
Okay, for me, I would say I don't think there is anything in particular, But I think if you can communicate with your wife, ask questions, ask her what she wants, because she wants different things at different timing. So you're not giving me, don't give me what I don't want just give me the right thing at the right time. Don't give me the right thing at the wrong time or the wrong thing at the right. So I think it's just don't do everything, just do what I want. That's
Okay, so
ask me what I want.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So just ask me what I want. It could be that I want a gift or something, and then you're giving me the act of service at that point. That is not what I want. I just want a weekend getaway, and then you're doing something different. Please ask me what I want. Then don't just do everything, because everything that you're doing is not making me happy at that time. Do what it is that I think I want.
So, Pastor Dennis, I mean, she has said half of, the things that it really is. But I think that, I would give an example. Sometimes after I had my first child, I usually would wake up with these wrist issues. Like my wrist would pain me like every morning till now. I mean, it has then transcended to my back and then my wrist. And so the few minutes after I wake up, I'm very groggy, looking for, okay, how do I then find my balance? But then you don't have that large expanse of time to actually, be figuring things out and be resting. Because I have kids to tend to. And then Eli has to go to school. I have to tend to Esther and all of that. So, I mean, on days when my husband is at home, we used to have those issues because he's an acts of service person. And so he gets up, makes breakfast, makes everything, and he's still wondering like, okay, what exactly is it? Of course, I don't have mood swings. So I would usually would communicate, oh, I appreciate the things that you've done, but this morning I would really like a back rub and maybe a wrist massage. That would really help. So for women, please express, don't expect that they know the contents of your heart. Communicate what you want per time. That's the thing. Communicate what they can do to help per time. If they are doing back rub and you want them to actually help make breakfast, say, babe, can we just maybe suspend this back rub for this morning? I would really appreciate that you make breakfast. So, I mean, communicate. And then for the men, know that it's not either or, it's anything per time.
And also for the men too, I feel there's just that slight thing in our minds too that feel, our fathers didn't used to do it. We're doing this now. Appreciate us. Let us feel like, there's just that thing too. Men didn't used to be like this. I mean, I've learned to do this. I need some appreciation right now. So we just need to tweak it down a little too, because sometimes we can see it. Sometimes we can see it as, oh, because you are giving this now, So I just feel that we should just extend grace to ourselves. Communicate more. Let us exactly tell how we feel. If a man feels he's doing a lot in the house right now and he needs to be more appreciated, please communicate it to your wife. And wives, sometimes we need to just notice these things and mention them. Thanks, babe. I see that you do this extra. I mean, if a man has to go to work in the morning and he wakes up, with you in the night, carrying the baby, I know that is what he's supposed to do, but please appreciate him for it. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I was going to wrap up with that women, please affirm your husbands. It's not only when they're not doing things right that you should talk. When they are doing something right, affirm them to say, I see this. You are doing great. You are the best father in the world. You are doing good. I know that you didn't go through fatherhood school, but men, at this father thing, you are doing great. So, I mean, when we do those things, when we are actually empathetic towards, each other, we would have a fantastic time. Thank you so much. Please welcome, Pastor Tenny.